Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to pull this thing back out of the shop here and take the cab off. So we've worked on it a little bit since the last video, and I'll just run through right quick with you guys what we've done. Alright, so usually I say we just out of habit, but actually Dad helped me a little bit here on this one. So we took the fenders off. As you can probably tell, I threw them outside. They're garbage anyway. I was really surprised we didn't have to drill any of the bolts or cut them or anything. They just all turned right out, so that was pretty good. We got both sides off, and the wires came out no problem too. And we took the back glass out of the cab, so there's no glass left in the lower part of the cab anymore. I took the floor mat out too. I put some crap on there to kind of combat some of the rust, but there's a little bit of rust here and scale, but it's still solid. There's some here too. This is the worst side. The other side, if you remember, had the hydraulic valve for the loader, so there's a lot of oil and crap on that side, and it doesn't seem to be rusted near as bad. So anyway, we took floor mat out and everything, and everything looks pretty good there. The seat's actually unbolted too, so that's ready to come out. And I think there's some things on the other side here. I'll take a walk over. So the console here, it's kind of hard to see in the dark, but we've disconnected everything in there. Hoping that everything's going to slide through the floor mat, the controls or whatever, but I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see when we start trying to lift it off, I guess. I'm not sure about that one. But anyway, we'll figure things out, and yeah, everything else is pretty much as it was. There's a bunch of other stuff underneath the cab here that I had to disconnect: the differential lock, the PTO, stuff like that, four-wheel drive, lever. So anyway, I'm pretty confident that everything is disconnected, so we're all ready now. Just got it plugged in. We're gonna let it warm up for a while, and we'll take it outside and lift the cab off. I still have to disconnect the clutch and the gear shift, but we'll have to do that outside because I want to be able to drive it out of here. It's just easier that way. We're still going to have to push it back in because when I disconnect the clutch, I'm still going to be able to run the tractor. My plan is to have steering, but I won't be able to do anything else with it. I did switch the hoses on the steering, so I'm not going to have to try and deal with steering one way and turning the other again. So anyway, yeah, that's where we're at. So I'll pick up the video when we get her outside, I guess. cabs off. Now, gotta pressure wash this thing all off and get it back in the building, I guess. Well, the tractor's out there. It's something cold out. I'm hiding in the milk house here. But, yeah, I'm gonna haul the pressure washer out and pressure wash it off. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it back in the shop today. I think we're just gonna roll it back up into the metal building and we'll put it in the shop another day because, yeah, it's cold out, but it is above freezing, which is why I'm going to wash it. But the wind is cold, and I don't know. The ground itself is starting to thaw out, and it's just kind of greasy on top. So it's not going to be very easy to get it up into the shop today. So we'll wash it off, roll it up into the metal building, and then the next day that it's kind of frozen, we'll put it back in the shop. And let's put the cab somewhere too, but anyway, so I'm going to pressure wash it now, and we'll meet you guys at the end of that, I guess. Well guys, we got the tractor in here, as you can see behind me. Today is actually 2 days, I guess, after we got the cab off it, so this morning we were able to get the tractor back in here. We can at least run it like this, so we did have steering, unlike when we put it in here the first time when we didn't have any steering. But we did have steering, but we still had to pull it, and we pulled it with the 885 and then held it back with the 375 to keep it from rolling away. So anyway, it was a bit of a battle, but we did get it in here, and it is a little bit on the crooked side, but it'll be all right. So I'll turn the camera around here and show you guys what the next step is going to be here. All right, so I ordered some 12-ton jack stands off of the Princess Auto website, so they should be here later this week. So we're going to use 2 of those on the back to hold the back end up. We're going to jack it up, take the tires off. These tires are loaded, so we're going to take them off. Not sure. I haven't decided yet if we're going to take them off of the rims. I'm kind of debating on that, but we're definitely going to take the fluid out of them. I don't need the fluid in them, and we're going to get the rims sandblasted one way or another, and that should create a little bit more room for working around here too, without having the tires to walk around. I mean, there's still other parts of the tractor to walk around, but it should help a little bit. So the front, I think we've decided we're going to leave the front end for this year. It does need some work, but I think just for the time being, we're just going to leave the front end alone. We are going to deal with the steering cylinder, and I will replace the tie rod ends. The tie rod goes from one side to the other. I'm going to replace those, but as far as these plates here and the bearings underneath them, there's one on the top, one on the bottom, on either side, and the center pivot. We're just going to leave that alone for now, and I'll tackle that maybe next winter or something like that. I'm just a little bit worried about timing, and I'm just going to leave it for now. I think is the best option. So I've started working on taking the fuel tanks off. They have to come off now. The gear shift, I think. Maybe some of you guys that have one of these tractors will be able to tell me, but this is the gear shift lever for your range selection, and this is the ball underneath that it kind of pivots on. Well, and this is the gear shift itself. So my question is this shaft supposed to slide in and out of this like freely? Because mine is rusted solid in there, so I'm kind of curious about that. I think the ball is in all right shape. As long as I can get it apart and kind of clean it up, it should slide in and out. So I had an awful job taking this apart when I took the cab off, because obviously the cab had to come up over the top of this lever. So anyway, we got a few leaks to address, like I mentioned before. The orbital, I had this off before, and I guess I don't know if I replaced the O-rings or not, but we're going to be replacing them now. We got 4 O-rings got to be replaced. Stop that from leaking. This hose here, I gotta do something with that. That's not quite right. This line here is leaking on top of the power steering. So it's just little stuff like that. And yeah, tackle things one by one. This fuel line is leaking here. I'm not sure if, well, I'm not sure if it's going to focus, first of all. I'm not sure if we can just cut the line and then, wow, it's really having a good time there focusing, isn't it? Let me mess with it a little bit here. How's that? So I'm not sure if we can just cut the line, like cut a couple inches off it and push it back on this here, and that'll fix it, or what, or I'll have to buy another line. It's only short. I did find one, so I might just buy a new one because I don't think it was too expensive. So anyway, that's that kind of stuff. And around the back here, I was spraying some pentreating oil on here, but these lines got to come off. They're all going to be replaced. These ends too. I'm just going to replace the works. So I need to find. This had one spool on it, one set of remotes on it. So we're going to switch to at least 2 sets. I'd like to go 3 just to have the extra, but we'll try for 2. I'm looking to put a 3-way valve on it as well. And I think we're going to ditch this Power Beyond block. I don't think we need that. And I also need a few other things, but that's cab stuff, so we won't talk about that right now. So anyway, just going to start stripping stuff down basically, and yeah, go from there, I guess. All right, one more thing before I go. I've been asked by a few people if I'm planning on selling this tractor when it's done. I assume because we seem to have a habit of selling stuff, and maybe people don't want to get too emotionally attached to a tractor if we're going to sell it anyway. But the answer is no, we're not going to sell this one. This is my tractor, and I bought it because it's what I wanted, and I don't have any intentions of selling it. So I mean, I'm not going to say that I'll never sell it, but I did not buy it with the intentions of selling it, and as of right now, I have no intentions of getting rid of it. So this one's going to be staying around for a while, hopefully. Yeah, I don't plan on selling it. So hopefully that answers that question for anybody that's asking.